Alright, so we are live. So, let's see, last time we were in the middle of setting up the computer factory. So we have the circuit boards here. And if I just look up computer, I have the circuit boards, and I need the cables and plastic. So I think next up we're going to do the plastic. So we need 400 of them because we're doing 10 assemblers. So 400 plastic. And we're getting some of that through residual plastic, specifically half. So we have 600 polymer resin. So we need to get 200. So we need to get just 10 of these to get 200 plastic. And then the rest of it is going to come through recycled plastic. So let's start with the polymer resin recipe. So we have a pipe here. We've got polymer resin. So we've got the polymer resin down there. We need to find a spot, preferably by the water, for those refineries. So I guess that'll just be here, is as good a spot as any. So let's just expand this out. We have these refineries here, so we know how big it has to be. Okay, I can make this copper belt not be weird. So that belt can just go directly there. It doesn't have to do that weird, insane zigzag. Alright, so hang on. The polymer resin is two, yeah, so it's 2 inputs to 1 output, so it's this one. And we're just gonna stick it I guess we line it up with the existing ones. No real reason not to, just for neatness sake. Although it's obviously not going to be connected. So we get those. And then we go to auto connect mode. And attach the rest of these up. So that's 2, 4, and we need 10 of them total. Six. I'm gonna need more space on this. Alright, so we just expand that out and put in more of these. And that is 8. And 10. Alright, now I'm pretty sure this will work because if I select this, all of these need 60 polymer resin a minute, which means that this will automatically load balance itself. Although we're going to have to split it in the middle for belt speed reasons, but this is a start. So let's paste all of these across. And just gotta get all of these and not accidentally get the other ones. That would be bad. Alright. So those are all pasted in. And then this is going to be 200 water, so that's just 2 water extractors on either side. Or really anywhere, it doesn't matter, because they're not going to be pipe limited. And then we need to get the polymer resin in, which is going to be a bit of a whole thing. But basically, this big belt along here has to be Mark IV. And we just need to get all of these upgraded. And then at some point, it doesn't need to be Mark IV anymore, right? So we have 600, we have 480 total. So then we have 420 after this one, 360 after this one, 300 after this one, 240 after this one. Then we put the other 240 in, probably somewhere like here, back up to 480. So let's put that in. And we're going to have to get rid of some of that stuff. That back in. So then the other 240 goes in there, and then this is 480 still. And gosh, is that correct? Hang on, I have to recheck. So we have 480 there, 420 after this one, 360 after that one, 300 after that one, 240 after that one, up to 480, down to 420, down to 360. And then, yeah, so this should be good. We just make all these Mark IVs just so we're sure that it will work properly. And obviously most of those don't need to be Mark IVs, but they are anyways. So now we just take the polymer resin belts and put the fast one in here and the slow one in the other thing. So let's get rid of that. Alright, fast polymer resin belt is here, which we don't need to go all the way this way. We need these to turn earlier. So we're gonna head back to like this intersection here and curve. So now this goes along. And that belt is too long apparently. It's not too long there. Alright, just gotta be a little bit precise with your clicking, and then this comes up onto the foundation. And then it just goes in there. Nice and easy. Then we have to bring the other polymer resin belt along the same way. So this comes out and goes over this way. And keeps on going. Apparently that's too steep for it, so then it can come up there. Alright, now this wraps around this way and continues along there before going in there. Alright, so that is that. And now we just need to put the water extractors in for this. So we just need 2 of those. They merge up and then go in. Alright, so that is 200 plastic. We need another 200. And let's see, we also need to... Does this all loop up? Yeah, this all connected properly. Good to know. Alright, so we have 200 plastic. Nice and easy. Now we need to get the other 200 plastic, which is going to be considerably more difficult. So we need to set up a recycled fuel loop. And let's put that here in this space, but we're going to have it go up just like half of, just like one wall or two, just to get it up above all of these pipes that are going along below it. Oh, what did I just press? Oh, I hit the Windows Home key instead of Alt. Yeah, that would do it. Alright, so we have this. And here we have a nice little platform. So, how do you do recycled plastic loops? I wish I could remember. So I know, like, the general gist of it is you have refinery, you have refinery, and let's put in those foundations. Alright, so we have recycled plastic and recycled rubber. So, let's see, we need 200 plastic output. Right, so I think the way you're supposed to do this is we need 200 plastic output, so let's get that set up. So that's going to be 60, 120, 180, and then 200 with some rounding. Alright, so then this is all going to be set to recycled plastic. Copy paste, copy paste, copy paste. Alright, so we have set the last one to 20 so that this is 200 output. Now, in order to do all this, we need to figure out how much fuel this is, which is going to be 30, 60, 90, 100 fuel. So I happen to know that the overall conversion rate is you turn one fuel into one plastic / rubber. So if we have 200 plastic and 100 fuel, then we need, what is it, like another 50? Okay, gosh, this is one of the most confusing things you can do in this game. So we need enough rubber, right? We need 60, 90, we need 100 rubber. But in order to get that rubber, we need to make more plastic. So I think we're supposed to go like another 100 plastic. So let's just set these to 50 each, just for the sake of argument. So now we have 300 plastic production, and we need 150 rubber, I think. Gosh, is this right? That's 30, 60, 90, 100 rubber. This is another 50, so yeah, we have 150 rubber and 150 fuel. So now we need to put in rubber refineries, which face the other way. And gosh, did we run out of space? We ran out of space. Okay. So that is fine. We're just going to have to move this further over this way. let's just put in 2 more refineries like that. So then these 3 make 180. This one makes 20. And these 2 make 100. And then these 2 can be recycled rubber. Recycled rubber. So now we have 100 rubber production, and half of that, so 50, goes into these, which make 100 plastic production. No, this is wrong. I think these also maybe only need to be 25 each. So let's see, we have 50 plastic here, and that gives us 100 rubber. The 100 rubber gives us 25 goes in there, and 30, 60, 90, 100 goes in. Alright. Yeah, this is the part where it gets very confusing. So I know how much fuel we have to use. So we have to use 200 fuel total. Right? So this is 30, 60, 90, 100 fuel. Then we need 100 fuel across these machines. So what if these are 60 each? So now we're at 160 fuel. So if we then make these 40 each, then that would be 200 fuel, right? We have 30, 60, 90, 100 fuel, 120, 140, 170, 200 fuel. Alright, so we have 200 fuel, and we have 120 rubber, which goes, 20 goes to there, 40, so we have 80 rubber left, which is not enough. But that's fine, because this produces 80 plastic, whereas this only uses 60. So I think we are going to need another one of those. So if we make this 40, now we use too much fuel, but we have the plastic left over. Gosh, there's like a convenient way of doing this, right? I'm not thinking of it, but there is one. So we have 100 fuel on these four. These 4 machines are 100 fuel. Then these machines also have to be 100 fuel, which is 20, 40, 70, 100, 120. So now we have 20 too much fuel, and we're making 40 rubber there. So this is using 50 fuel to make 100 rubber. This is using I'm so lost. I'm so incredibly lost. Alright, to the calculator. So, Satisfactory tools tells you just how to do this. I could have sworn I had, yes, Plastic Factory. So we need to make 200, set that number. Okay, yeah, it's weird, confusing numbers, but we need, so we need 266.667 plastic. So that's 60, 120, 180, 200, 260, and alright, these can be 33 1/3 each. So we have 200 fuel going to the outputs there. Then we have 66 plastic going into the rubber there. Then these make 133.333 plastic a minute, or rubber a minute, rather. So each of these 3 rubber machines need to, well, let's see. This makes 60, 120, and 13.333. Alright, so that is that. Now I need to actually like flip these around so that they're all facing the way that I want them to face. And then we're going to have to figure out how we're ever going to be load balancing this. Alright, so we have all of that. And we have all of these. And we have these last ones, which are plastic but need to be facing the other way. Alright, so that goes like that. So the rubber winds up being like that. So this one needs 16.667 rubber, which is not a number that any of them give. Actually, I wonder if I make that one 60 and this one 6.6667. So that needs 3.3 rubber. No, alright. I think probably load balancing this is going to be just basically impossible. Although we do have these ones, which are nice, even 30 a minutes. So we could go, these two get 1, these two. Okay, now what if we remove that one, or we had this tiny one, right? This 6.667. So what if we remove that one and make this one 26.666. So now that uses 13.333 rubber, which is conveniently this machine. So then these two rubbers produce 60 a minute each, which goes into those. We need to swap these two. So this one is full, and this one is that. Alright. I think I may have figured it out. Maybe. So this machine outputs to 2 of those. That one outputs to 2 of those, and that one outputs to that one. So let's start by bringing this out and around and in. Now we need to leave space for the pipes here as well, and also for these other belts. Then these. So I think we actually merged these up just so that we only have to get one belt up over the intersection. So this has to be a Mark II belt, and it goes up. And over. Then we have a splitter between there and there. Another splitter between there and there. Please. Why would you do that? Alright, just go default mode, I guess. And then those hook in there. No, I don't want that to be like that. I want that to be straight. Alright, so then this needs to come out over this way. And then down in there. Alright, so then that is all split out and balanced. And we're just going to need to get the pipes in to those. And then we have to do the other side of this as well, which hopefully will also work out nicely. So let's fill all this. So this is 60, 120, 180. Yeah, okay, so this is going to be the problem. This side is going to be the problem because we need to get 200 out. Alright, so this needs 6.667 plastic. These two should be easy because they're just going to need 30 each. So we just take this one and put it into those two. Then we have to take this one and send 20 one way and 6.667 the other way, which I think we can do with a slower, right? So we get in a priority merger. And a splitter. No, wait, we need a splitter first, then the priority merger. And also, I think I was putting that on the fluid output, not the solid output. So we get smart splitter, priority merger, regular splitter. This goes into that. That goes into that. That goes into that. Then these two loop back. And we give left and right higher priority. And center ordinary priority. So the 20. So that is 20, right? Because we have 60 going in there. 40 of it goes back. 20 of it goes out. Then we say left is overflow, and the remaining 6.667 goes out that way. and into the farm machine, right? Yeah, all the way over there. This is not the most convenient placing for all of this in the world, but we'll make it do. So this is going to loop around here to be out of the way of the other stuff, and then go in there. Alright, so then we just have this machine, which outputs 60. And it's just going to sit on top of that merger, come down that way, and get a nice convenient split there and there. Then that 20 combines up with this 180 to get the 200 plastic that we need. And I assume that this is all just going to be merged up into one or two belts with the polymer resin plastic. So let's just merge all of this up. And this is going to need to be a Mark III belt there. This needs to be hooked up. And that comes out. Alright, so that is the loop set up. Now we need the fuel. So we just put in a pipeline there, and it comes across all the way to over here. And we need to put the junctions in. Wait, this is the output side for this. So this side doesn't get the pipes, that side gets the pipes, which is convenient because this is much more messy than over here. Alright. So that goes in. Then we put the junctions in. Please line up. No, I didn't want it to be placed like that. I want it to be placed like that. And there. And there. So now all of these go in. Then we head around this side. And these get pipes. So this just goes across all the way over to there. And the junctions go in. And there we go. Now the pipes go in. 1, 2. Oh, did I just get sent really fast there for some reason? Jeez, alright. Whatever belt that is has some serious acceleration on it. Alright, so that is that. So now we need to just simply make 200 fuel and put them in these pipes. So, which is just going to be a small version of that over there. So hopefully we can make this relatively compactly. So let's get some foundations. And what do we need? We need a refinery. We need refineries for the final product, and I think we're going to face this pointing this way, just to break up the monotony of it a little bit. So you make diluted packaged fuel, you make diluted packaged fuel. Actually, I have a specific blueprint for exactly this purpose. So it's this. And we're going to set this to default build mode. And in you go, and now you get default auto connect so that these two can hook up. Although actually I don't think I want that. I think I need these to not be connected because I'm going to be changing the speeds, and because I need 200, not like 100 and not 240 or whatever. Which means that these aren't actually going to be speed balanced, which means I need to just balance them the old-fashioned way. So these are 50 and 50 and 50 and 50. And I could have copy-pasted that. Don't know why I didn't. Alright, so we need 100 heavy oil residue, and obviously 200 packaged water. So, we also need to unpackage this stuff. So the output side is going to be fine to hook up, I think. Although it might be easier actually to... No, it's going to be easier because the space is getting awkward. I did not plan this ahead very well. So now we need our unpackagers. So we get some space over there. And we get 1, 2, 3, 4. Unpackaged fuel. And paste the settings all the way across. I should have set the speed first. Control V, Control V, Control V. Alright, so we have that. Now these need splitters to go into them. And we'll see how compact I can make this. Yeah, we're going to need to not use this. Need some of this space for other purposes. So you go there and there. Then you get a splitter in. You go there and there. And then you get a splitter there, which goes there and there. So now we just need this to be even. So we just need to do something like this, I guess. Does that work? Barely. So then that goes in, and those all hook up like that. Alright, so now we have 200 packaged fuel going along this belt, splitting into the batches of 50 for these packagers. Alright. Then next, we need to just hook these packagers in to the fuel pipes. So let's do that. And that height would be optimal, I think. Then we go along there, and this should just go directly in. Yep, like so. Alright, now all of these pipes hook up. And now this pipe can go over here. And then up into there. No, not clipping with that belt. Just go a little bit further. And now it's clipping with that belt. Because I'm going to have to get this up onto the foundation manually. And then give it some height manually. And then send it in there. And then just slap a junction on there and hook that one in. Alright. So we have fuel pipes set up. Now we have the canisters there. And we need the water packaging. So that is just going to take place over here. This is literally just like a sketchier, less well planned out version of the previous build. So let's get some space over here. Actually, we can just send these like directly forwards into the packagers, right? 1, 2, 3, and 4. So then these belts just go straight across. Yeah, this is actually I like this way better. And then these package 50 fuel each. Or package 50 water each. And we need the pipes to go in, which just does that. And now hopefully these pipes will work. Yes, they will. Ha, I'm a genius. Alright, now I just have to not get confused about which pipe is which. Alright, I need 2 water extractors. Technically slightly less than 2, but that's fine. And they feed up into this. And now this outputs the packaged water. So the packaged water has to go back along into here, which you just use these belts, right? So we have to put half of them into this and then the other half into that, which is fine. So we get a merger, and those all merge together. Then this comes along and in there. Then we get another merger here. And then these just go same place but a bit further. So they go along there. And then that straight mode place is shockingly just actually exactly what I wanted to do. So that it goes like that and in there. Alright, water packaging, done. Only one thing left, which is the heavy oil residue, which we need 100 of. And this is going to make some extra polymer resin, which I could technically use for that, but I'm not going to. So we get refinery, refinery, heavy oil residue, heavy oil residue. Alright, then we need to set... Alright, so these are 40 a minute each, so I need a third. And I guess it doesn't really matter because it's fluid, so we're going to set that to 20 a minute. So we need 30, 60, 75 crude oil for this. Alright, then we just gather up the polymer resin and send it off into a sink somewhere. How much polymer resin is this actually? It's gonna be a Mark 1 belt's worth, like 50. So we can just immediately sink it. And in you go. Then we take this pipe, the pipeline over there, and then we attach it in to all of the outputs, like so. 1, 2, and 3. Alright, then this is the heavy oil residue, right? So then we just boop, connect those two pipes together and attach the crude oil in. So we had a specific pipe of the spare crude oil, which I think is this pipe. Yeah, it's gotta be. If it isn't, then we'll probably completely crash our entire power grid, but that's fine. We will figure that out when we figure that out. So we get some extra space there. We drag this pipe across. And then in, and then wherever this pipe is going, which I'm pretty sure is nowhere, but I'm just going to branch that off. Just in case that pipe is actually doing something, I won't remove it, and we'll just branch it in like that. Alright. Lucky catch there. We need to connect those pipes up. All the rest of this stuff looks normal, and then this is the plastic output. Alright. Plastic factory complete. Relatively, I mean, okay, I was going to say relatively straightforward. This is like the most convoluted possible way of making plastic. But it is also worlds more efficient than any other way, so here we are. So now we have 200 plastic there and 200 plastic somewhere else. Wherever those refineries there. So we have 400 plastic. Next up, we need another 45 heavy oil residue. So let's actually just expand this out. Also, I need to connect these. I need to connect these belts in. So we have 40, 80, 100. And I need another like 44.444 or something ridiculous. So we're just going to expand this out a little bit. So that's going to be another 2 refineries. And they're going to be connected to the same input, but not the same output. So, those go there and there. And these need to be set to 22.222 repeating and 22.222 repeating. Alright, so then we do need to hook these up to the polymer resin output, which I think actually means that we need to upgrade that. I think this pushes it over 60. So let's just make this belt Mark II. Alright, so we have that. Then we have this pipe here, which is going to go across and gather up. Why is it trying to snap into the wrong thing? I have to just manually place it there. Alright, then these two go in. And we have our additional heavy oil residue for the cable. So then the other thing we need to do is make the wires. And I really want to do all of this on this floor because of pump reasons. So where is the copper? I previously made copper ingots, right? They're like all the way over here. Pretty sure I made the spares. So we head over here, and yeah, we have an amount of copper ingots. How much? Who knows? So we need to link this up with the heavy oil residue over there. And I guess we'll move this as copper ingots. Wait, that's the wrong type of belt. I need to get this output. Right, so this goes along this way. And along this way. Then it goes up. And over that. And we need more foundations. Oh, accidentally upgraded that to Mark III belts. And back down to Mark II. Not that it really matters. Alright, then this comes down here. Sneaks along under that pipe. And then goes up again over that polymer resin belt. And finally comes over here. Alright, that is a bit of a journey. So, now we need to turn this into wire. So let's place all of those out. And we're not doing any fancy wire recipe, right? Just good old-fashioned wire. And we need 111.111 of it. So that's going to be 30, 60, 90, 120, and then we're going to have to set these down. 111.11111 divided by 4. $27.778 wire each. 2, 3, and 4. Alright, and then this belt has to be split and split again. So then these all get all of that stuff. That goes into there. And those go into there. Alright, now we just take that belt and we bring it along like I don't know, up there maybe. Oh, we're just gonna pretend I don't see that clipping. Alright, so then we have our incredibly janky amount of wire and our similarly cursed amount of heavy oil residue. And we need to, I assume, in a refinery. Let's fill that space out. And how many refineries? 2 of them, maybe. Probably more than that. Where is this recipe in? Cable recipe. Coated cable produced in refinery. Am I just blind? Yes, I am apparently just simply blind. So we need 200, and this goes 67.5. So this has to be 50 each, and we need 4 of them. One, 2, 3, and 4. And the wire checks out, so we just send the wire in directly like so. And we put up the pipelines and bring that across to like there-ish. Then these get all of these. And boom, 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 boom. Alright, then we take that and we stick it in there and done. 200 cables, check. Alright, and I think I even did all the numbers correctly. You might be off by a decimal point somewhere, but whatever. I'm sure it'll be fine. Yeah, I mean, it all checks out to me. So then we take those cables and we send them up to the second floor, which is going to need to expand out all the way over here, or head in, or we're going to have to move this all the way over there. And then we just combine all the things up in manufacturers and call it a day. We're going to need 10-to-1 splitters for the cable and the plastic, which is fine. Alright, so then all of those, and we're good. Alright, let's see if I can just bring this further back so that the second floor doesn't have to cover a massive space. We do have plenty of free room on this floor. I did a decent job of leaving extra space. Also, this weird, like, floor 1.5 or whatever that I've done here is not the most beautiful thing in the world. Alright, so then this gets to just... Where do I even want to send this? Just over here, maybe? Just like generally in the vicinity of the floor 2. Alright, so that goes over there. Then I also need to grab the 2 belts of plastic, which are... what a fantastic design that I've concocted here. This is certainly not my most elegant work, and it's certainly becoming less so as I get closer to finishing. But it should work, probably. Alright, so the plastic comes along this way till it's somewhere around here, and we'll figure out exactly where we want it to go up later. Then we have this, which is the plastic from polymer resin belt, and these look like I set them all up correctly. So now we just need to send this one over here. And, gosh, I don't know, have it run along this way. Just directly over itself. Fantastic work. The most brilliant factory designer to have ever lived. That's me. Alright. Then this twists down onto the floor here. And comes around this way before, sure, lining up there. And if that's what we're doing, then I guess we'll bring this over to join it. Straight through that. That's fine, I guess. And then there. Alright, so now these 3 belts have to go up to the second floor, which conveniently the ladder 2 is here. So up we go. Alright. Then what I think I need to do now is set up the actual manufacturers, because I need to know the spacing. And I want them to be, I mean, preferably far enough back that this isn't in the way. So I guess, I mean, we also have to not run into the fuel power plant. So if we go just a couple more there, and we get a manufacturer, and we just place it like that, right? Then we have this space to deal with the outputs, and you get to be called a computer, and we have to get 10 of these in. 1, 2, 3. It's going to go just cleanly over the entire fuel plant. Forgot how big manufacturers are. Alright, so we have 3, 4... Actually, this is the second time I've built a computer factory and a fuel plant that have overlapped. 4, 5, 6, 7... And we just keep going. Use all the concrete in the world to build foundations. Eight, 9, 10. Okay, now the problem with going over the fuel plant here is that I don't get a logistics floor for this. Or, like, all the logistics floor stuff has to happen over there. Otherwise we're going to run out of space. So that's awkward. Fortunately, we have the circuit boards here already, and so those can just go in. And we need to, like, alternate belts in, like, batches of 3 between circuit boards, cables, and plastic. So we need our 1 to 10 splitters, or 2 1 to 5 splitters for the plastic, because that's already mostly split. So let's get the logistics floor in, and then we come down here. And I've forgotten which one is which. I think these two are plastic, and this one is cables. Yeah, pretty sure this one is cables, and those two are plastic. Alright, so then this just goes directly up there. And boom. Then we have these two, which should probably just be lined up, right? Like there and there. There and there. Alright, I'm not sure if the connection actually worked. We're gonna have to see. If it didn't, it's obviously a pretty easy fix. Alright, so now we just get up here. And we pop these out. Alright, so we need a whole bunch of 1 to 5 splitters here. Is there any way we can speed balance any of these at all? I mean, technically, but it would be much worse. It would be much worse. We could speed balance the cable and the plastic, but it would make things much more complicated in, like, a couple ways, so I'm not going to do that. Alright, so we have... Let's just get all of our space over here that we're going to probably need. So this one splits off. And blueprints, 1 to 5 balancer. goes... Where does it go? Need this to line up properly. There. And we need another one just like over here. One to 5 balancer. That just goes there. Alright, so that goes along there. Make some of this stuff to your 4 belts just to make sure that there's no funny business with belt limitations. Alright, so that's that. Then that comes along here. So we have cables split into 10. Now we just need to get these split into 10, which is going to be 5 each again. So they go there, and there. And then the belts go in like that and that. This is going to have to twist around a little bit more in order to not intersect. Alright, and then we make these belts all lightning fast, even though it shouldn't be necessary. Please. Why is it so hard to place? Alright, so we have that. We have all of that. Now we need to get all of these into those, which I have not thought out well at all. If I were smart, I would have put this up on another floor so I could have another whole logistics floor to hash this stuff out. But I didn't do that. Alright, so what I could do is... if I just do like this, and just bring those up in here, then we would have all of these nice and alternating between the 3, and we could just belt them across. And it would look slightly horrific, but it would work. Alright, so is this going to be a thing that works? Can I get these into those? So let's start with the cables, I guess. And these are going to have to stay up there in order to not intersect with the other balancing happening below them. Yeah, this really deserves another logistics floor, but I'm sort of committed now. I'm committed to this insanity, whatever the result may be. Is that all of them? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fallen off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Right, so there has to be one last set of these two over here after all of them. So those go in like that. And There we go. Alright, so we have these. So some of them are relatively straightforward, like that just goes up there. So the first batch of this is going to be easy, right? Because we just send them up. The second batch is going to be where the problems start arising, where we have to figure out how to not intersect with the first batch. So these all come up and across, and then over and in. And one way I could do that is by sending them around the other side, so that instead of all going up this way, those could go out that way and come in from the back. Which would be a pretty good idea, I think. Alright, then we're at the point where we already need a second intermediate step there. Then this has to come out there, and while we're doing it, we'll bring that one out there. And then these come along here. And in they go, and in they go. Alright. So that is the easy part. Next, we need to do the other 10, which I mean, let's see. Yeah, we're definitely going to want to turn this around and send it out the other way. Let's take that out. And we send that one out that way, which means we dismantle all of this, and we dismantle all of this, because what are all these random belts doing here? These are the ones that I upgraded after placing the blueprint. Alright, now this going out this way. Let's get some space. And we have a splitter. And we have a 1 to 5 balancer. Which I guess we can just like put them back there, just so that they have as much space as possible. And then the other one goes over there. Now let's fill in these foundations there, so that this is all on the floor. Now we just have to hook these up. So that goes across. That goes across. Pretty sure these are at most going to need to be tier 3 belts, not tier 4 belts. And I happen to have tier 3 belts in my inventory at the moment, so let's just place all these in. Alright, so we have all of those. Now we need to place these, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now we need to get these attachments up, which which is going to be difficult, to say the least. So this one needs to actually, like, straight up elevator up and then go in. Hopefully that's the only one that'll need to do that. Alright. So yeah, the other ones should have enough space, but we're going to need to bring them out a bit to get the angle that they need. Which is going to get infinitely more complicated once we get past this row of conveyors there. So these ones all just go around past there. And there. Let's put in floors back here so that we can see so that we can stand here and get a good angle on what we're doing. Also going to need floors out that way to place these belts on. Then we grab this one and it goes around there. Grab this one. And in order to prevent them from clipping, we have to do this little sort of diagonally pattern, which will work itself out once we start pulling them forwards the rest of the way. Alright, so then that goes there. And one more comes there. Alright, so then this one comes along here and goes up, but not quite turns that, doesn't quite turn that early. It needs to get like all the way out to there, I think. And then it turns in. So then the rest of these are going to need to also go up. It would be nice if they all lined up properly. So that goes up there. Then this comes along and goes up there. This one comes along and goes up there. So this is going to be the point where they're all aligned and in approximately the right spot where they need to be. And one more. Alright, so those are all up. Now this one comes across to there and then in. Then I fall off of the foundation because there is a hole here. Very cool. Let's expand that out. This one comes along to there and goes in there. This one oh, that was lined up to the wrong thing. This one comes along to, what is it? Like here. And in. This one comes along to here. And then in. Alright, that one went a tick higher up than I wanted. Just for the sake of neatness, we're going to fix that. It's very strange to be doing things for the sake of neatness at this point, but... So that goes there, and then in. But this honestly doesn't look too bad at all. Like, this looks fine. And I would like to keep it that way if it's reasonably simple to do so. So then that one goes there and in. And then we have one more, which is going to need to stop part way, but we can just send it to straight mode, and it goes there and in. Alright. So now that we have that, now we have this sort of cycle of these three different types of things. You should be able to just send them across into the correct machines and call it a day. So this comes all the way there, and even more, we need all this space here cleared up. And I really could have started placing the manufacturers on this side of the base, but I did not. Alright, so then this comes like there, and then in there. Then we're gonna need to put all of these in, and I may as well just do that all at once. So all of these go in. They're weirdly hard to aim and line up properly. Don't know what that's about. But once they're all in, it should be fine. Also, they're not all quite aligned with each other. Like, some of them are further back, some of them have different spacings, which is not brilliant, but again, won't really cause any problems. Alright, so we have that. Then we have this one, which comes out to here, and then curves, and then goes in. Then we have this one, which goes out to here, and then curves, and then goes in. And these should get shorter and less cumbersome as we go, and we just need to make sure to skip so that we only ever put 3 of them into a given thing. So that comes there. Don't go into that one. Straight into that one. And then this one comes along this way. And then along, and just barely failed to have long enough, and in. And then this one comes down this way, and then along this way, and in. Alright, then we have this one, which means we skip. Alright, so then that one, we skip the 4th, and we go directly into that one. Then we come along here, and this one comes along. I can save some space here, and it's gonna probably help. Like, we're probably at the present moment, obviously we have like infinite space. We're worried about the belts being too long. At some point in the future, though, space is going to be a real concern. At least it could be. And I would like to try to make this relatively compact to try to prevent that. Alright, so then this one. And it curves like that. And then goes around there and in. Alright, then we have this one. Just keep dragging along these nice zigzaggy belts. That goes there. Then comes around the corner and in, although that's not quite straight, but yeah, no, that actually bugs me a lot. That bugs me more than it should, but we're going to fix it. Alright, so then that goes there, and then in. And eventually these are just going to be going straight over that way. So that's fun. So then this comes along like this. It might have iron plate shortage problems, but wait. Oh, I messed up. That one was not supposed to go into the fourth. It was supposed to go into the first of the next one. Alright, so that is fine. We can just fix that easily. Fortunately, we caught it soon enough. It would have been a huge problem if, like, the entire thing was off by one. Alright, then that goes into the second. Then this one comes along. And goes into the third. Alright, then this one goes into the first. We have to skip the fourth. Alright, so then that goes there and in. Alright, we need this to be foundation. Right. Just bot as expected. Then these keep on going, and if we run out of space in this whole thing, I'm going to be very sad. And I don't know what we will do if that happens. I'm kind of relying on this to work. Alright, I guess if we run out of space, we could, like, do something clever and, like, place some more of them over that way. Like, move some of the assemblers so that they're on the other side, and then that might help. Got the alignment wrong there. Tear all this apart. Alright, now I'm pretty sure that's correct. No, it's not. Alright, can I just, like, place this from that side? There we go. Alright, then we skip the fourth. So grab this one. And we curve around this way. And keep them going. Alright, so then we grab that one and bring it along there. We are making good progress, I think. Oh gosh, it is going to be close actually if we have enough space. And yeah, we are out of iron plates. Alright. Is this going to be enough space? I really, really hope so. Also, this sort of design just looks very cool, you know? It's not perfect. It's not perfect, but it's pretty cool. It would be better if, like, the corners all lined up perfectly and flawlessly, but because we have these occasional gaps, it doesn't quite pan out that way. Alright. How do we pass the time waiting for our plates to refill. I guess counting. So we could just get all of these halves of this set up. That won't take as many belts. And it will let us know if it fits or not. And it's not going to be wasteful or anything because we need to place these at some point anyways. Oh yeah, the space is getting spooky. The space is getting, like, catastrophically spooky. We need to fit 5 more belts in. We can turn the last couple to the side to save some room there. Is there any other way? I guess we could, like, push these back a little bit without really breaking anything. Yes, because this is like we're clipping there and still running out of space for the next one. Yikes. Yikes, yikes, yikes. Are these just about... Yeah, I mean, there's a gap there, but... like, we could save maybe half of a belt or two by shifting all of these over. Or we could save a ton of space by shifting this last one back. But that would require redoing, like, the entire thing. I guess we have to. Seems like the only option. So this has to go out like that. And then connect in there. Then we grab this one, and it goes out like that. Before going in here. Alright, so we have that. And we're definitely saving multiple belts worth of space with this, so it is probably worth it. So then this is the third one, and it goes like this. And then we take that out. And we connect the two together. Alright, then we go over here, and we just have to keep doing the same process of rebuilding these belts, but with more space. More space efficient means we can, I mean, we only need to squeeze in like another belt or two from what we could have done with the previous setup. So this should be fine. And that goes there. And we're definitely, this should definitely work. Just a bit of a readjustment of all this. So then that comes out. And we have to get rid of that belt. And then this lines up Like, no, not... Why did it go up there? I didn't want it to do that at all. And I guess I know why it did that, because I jumped while placing it. Okay. So now we have that in. And it goes along there. This is still being as compact as is reasonable. So next up we have this one. So we take that out. And squeeze it in. And this one was almost very convenient. I have to remove it anyways in order to save the space. Alright, turns out you can, in fact, place a belt exactly where you're standing. Sometimes. Sometimes, but not all the time. And doing all of this, by the way, we are not using any additional belts, so this is also just a good way of waiting for the iron plates to show up. Alright, so then this comes along here. And it goes in like that. Then we have this one, which all of that goes out, as does that. Alright, now this comes along to there. Get rid of that. And attaches in. Alright. Making good progress on rebuilding this, and we have managed to squeeze a little bit of space out. I really hope that this is going to be enough space. It'll be super awkward if this isn't enough. Alright, so that goes there. Now we take all of these out. And that goes in there. Nice and straightforward. Alright, then we go over here. Take this one out. And put it back in. Somewhere like there. Alright, then that belt goes away. And this goes back in. And in there. Alright. Next belt is this one. So this all goes out. This is actually far enough back that I don't have to remove the last bit, which doesn't really matter all that much, but is mildly convenient. Alright, then that goes there, and the rest of the way in. Alright, just keep on putting these replacements through. Just keep on going. So that makes the corner. Then it apparently has to go around there. I don't know why that is... That's definitely not build mode straight right there. That's something weird happened. Yeah, what on earth? Oh, this is ever so slightly curved, it looks like. Must have placed the last bit in crooked. Alright, so this just goes here. And it's definitely straight. Okay, why is it doing that? Is it because of some weirdness with this? I don't understand what's going on there, but ultimately, like, the vertical space, I guess, isn't something that we really care about. Alright. And somehow doing whatever that is fixed it. Cool. Yeah, there's definitely a little bit of a bend in there. But it doesn't waste that much space, so that's fine. Keep on going. We are almost caught up to where we were. 347, that's fine. Got plenty of time to finish this off. Alright, so all that goes out. Then we need to place this back in. Like so. Oh yeah, I think the crookedness started there and just continued to be messed up. Alright, then that goes in like that. I feel like there's some more weirdness going on there, but whatever. It's fine. We still have all of the vertical space, so I'm not going to worry too much about it. So the next one that needs to be fixed is this one. So that all gets dismantled. Then this comes along this way. And somewhere like that, which I feel like it bent again. I don't know, these allegedly straight belts are sort of making me lose my mind a little bit. Yeah, I mean, why are those two clipping? Why are those two belts clipping? Who knows? Who even knows? Alright, so then that goes out, and then that is the more efficient version, and they're definitely clipping. Stop doing whatever happened that caused that. Stop it. Alright, if I place it from that side, it works. Fantastic. Alright, now what was I doing? Right, so this whole belt needs to go. And this then carries along in its place. Alright, and now we're at the point where we've just, like, sketched things out as far as the placement goes. So we have this one, which is the last full belt remaining. So this comes out to there. And comes along this way. And that goes away, and this goes in. Alright, so that is that. Now we have all of these, which we just need to do temporary placements for. So this one comes out to there. This one also comes out to there. Let's get rid of those. Then this one goes there. this one goes there. This one goes there. Is that working? Yeah, I think we need to extend at least these couple out a ways. Okay, it's definitely crooked. Why are you like this? Can I just like put a conveyor pole in the ground here? Just straight, and have my straight belt connect into it so that it remains straight. Alright, I think this one might not have been straight, and that might have been the problem. Alright, so then this just goes like that. Then that goes there. And this one goes in, and this is the last one I was able to fit previously. So then we also get this one, which goes in like that. That one goes in like that. That one goes in like that. And then these last two are on the end, so they can curve around the backwards and work. Alright, so we should have just barely managed to make it fit. Alright, so then we grab that, and we connect it in, and good. Then we grab this, bring it over here. It's definitely being weird again. And then that connection happens. And there's like this undeniable little zigzag in there, which I'm just not going to worry about. I'm just going to ignore it. And why are they all like this? Why can't you just place normally, like a normal belt? So that goes there. And this comes along and attaches into it. And that should fix whatever horrible disease it has, which is causing it to behave that way. Then that goes along there. Yeah, why are straight belts being like that now? Alright, we just need to get like all of these normal, non-weird conveyor poles in. And hopefully that, all of them having access to this. Alright, if I set them to default, so I can set them to default, bring them along to here, and sort out whatever weird alignment problem they had. And for some reason, clicking a single time sent it through. Because the conveyor pole is already in, right? I'm used to placing these without conveyor poles already present. Alright, so these all go across. And then we just need one more of these. And two more conveyor poles. Alright, so we take these lifts, we send them backwards, and doing it this way shouldn't break anything, right? So technically, like, the pattern isn't going to be perfect because this one should be there. But I like the pattern. I want the pattern to be perfect. So we're going to do something slightly more cursed. And that one can just go up and over. And now the pattern will be perfect at the cost of this little weirdness there, which is fine. Alright, now we can continue dragging these along. Now that they've been realigned, they should all work properly. Alright, then this one skips entry number 4 and goes straight to here. So that. Then we need to bring all of these up a bit. So let's just do that real quick. I think there was just an ant on my elbow or something. Alright. So then those go across. And we fill these foundations in. Move the last 4 forwards. And 1. And 2. And a 3. And a 4. And that's all of them up to that point. So now we just need to fill in even more foundation. So all of this goes forwards. And that should be all the foundation you need. So now this comes along here. And in there. And this comes along there and in. Then we grab this one, skip the last entry, go there and in. Then we grab this one, and there and in. This one, and there, and in. And now for the final manufacturer. This one comes along to there, and then in. And this one comes along there, and in. Alright, that should be everything. So now we just need to, gosh, this is a ridiculously massive belt highway. So now we just need to attach all of these up, and this is going to be 25 computers, which is honestly not even all that many. But now we just connect all of these up and set up the whole box sync combo. And then we will be free to power this up and see if it works. And there's almost no way that I got all of this correct in one go. This was insanely convoluted. And frankly, I was not thinking that hard about it, especially at the beginning of the stream. I was a bit out of it, but hopefully hopefully the fixes required are easy to find and somewhat minor and not massive reworks. I got numbers wrong, everything is broken sort of thing. So these all go together. And now we just put out the space here. So we get an industrial storage container, because why not? And we get a smart splitter. And then that goes along. Left, not any undefined, left overflow. And we get sink. That goes into the sink. Alright. Now, time to power on a whole bunch of machines. And I still don't have Mark III power poles, by the way. I have manufacturers, so I can make high-speed connectors now. So that will be a near future project. But I think the next thing I'm going to be doing is, now that I have computers, the next thing I'm going to be doing is setting up the railways with all the signals and everything, so that we can get resources much more easily and not have to do all this weird stuff. Alright, so that's that road done. Then we grab the power pole and we bring it along here. We're going to need to jump it over the belt highway and bring it along back here. So these are all the circuit boards. Gotta hook them up. And then we bring this along over this way. And keep hooking up circuit boards. Alright, so that is top floor finished. And then this is just the logistics floor. Alright, now we get to deal with the absolute nightmare that is the bottom floor. So let's put a power line in there. Oh, I clicked on a pop-up thing. Thank you. Thank you, Windows, for putting that in my screen and having me accidentally click on it despite having no interest in it. Alright, so now we start hooking all these refineries up. And we get another power pole. And we keep going. And another power pole, and we keep going. What? Oh, these ones are blueprinted, so I can just snap these together. So those all go together, and those power lines are done. Nice and easy. Alright, then we need to go forwards and grab these ones, which don't have power poles set up already, so let's just get all of those in. And we're going to need another power pole over here to get those. So all of those are in. Alright. Now we need to get this line of silica, which we are using for the circuit boards. If you ask me what those refineries are, there's like 5 different things back there. I have no idea. Alright, so those are all in. Those are all in. So now we have to get these refineries over here. So there we go. Just hook these guys all up. Then come over here and keep on attaching. And then a little further. And keep on attaching. Then we need to get these water extractors, which probably won't need pumps, but might. Alright, so then we have all of that. So now we bring the power pole back along this way, which probably could just grab one of the closer ones over here. Alright, now we're over here, and we need to get these water extractors. And these packagers. Which there are a lot of confusing machinery in this part of the factory. So, have I powered everything up? Not yet. Will I have powered everything up even once I think that I have powered everything up? Almost certainly not. Alright, so all of these go in. And just have a whole bunch of spare power poles just in case. You can never have too many, but you can certainly have too few. Alright, so then we have these, which need to be hooked up like that. Then we have these constructors over here. Gosh, it just keeps going. So these are the ones making wire for the cable. This is the cable back here in these refineries. 3 and 4. Alright. There's some water extractors over here that I don't think I got. So let's head over here. And power those two up. And I don't think I got this one either, so let's power that one up. Alright. I feel like I've missed a lot, but I also feel like there's no way I'm going to notice the ones that I've missed without just powering it all on and seeing what happens. So this is 2400 megawatts. That's not terrible. I mean, it's a lot, but it's not like gonna explode the grid, I don't think. Let's actually get this down and check the grid hasn't exploded itself. No, we're still up at 35,000. Alright, congratulations, the power is on. Okay, what are these machines and what are they doing? Oh, these need to get heavy oil residue. Did I hook up the other... I think I hooked up the other side, but not the inputs to these. So there you go. And looks like they are getting some crude oil. Be a bit slowly. I wonder why that's coming so slow. We might have an oil input problem, but it doesn't look like it. It looks like this is all going fine. So as long as this isn't like breaking the fuel power generator in the background, then it'll be fine. So that's going. Let's see here. I see belts moving, which means some things are happening. I also see a lot of empty belts. Oh, I need to jumpstart the whole... so I need to grab some canisters, and I need some plastic or rubber. Probably both, actually. So let's head over here. Oh, actually, I can just grab fuel. Yeah, so I can just grab fuel. I'm going to grab a couple stacks of that. While I'm here, may as well grab a couple stacks of rubber, because all of these need a jump start in order to work. So there we go. We have that. Now we can fly on over. Alright, so this is the heavy oil residue production, and that's just producing heavy oil residue. These are packaging water and unpackaging fuel. So if we feed all of these with packaged fuel, that should boot up that part of the production line, because it's going to unpackage the fuel, which is going to send canisters into the system, which is going to get all that stuff started. And then the other thing I need to do is I need to put plastic into those two. So they're going to send the plastic over here, which should, assuming the fuel shows up, kickstart these guys' rubber production. And yes, the fuel is showing up. So once the plastic comes over here, then this rubber will start up. And that should be that. And we are also incidentally sending some of that plastic along, which is not really what I wanted to be doing, but it's fine. Yeah, so this now starts producing rubber, which is going to cause that whole loop to loop. Gosh, these recycling systems are so weird how they work. So yeah, that makes rubber, which is going to go along here and keep these ones producing plastic. And it's just going to loop back and forth until everything works. Alright, this looks like a lot more than like whatever 6.667 or whatever it's supposed to be. Did I set the smart splitter wrong? Center any left overflow. No, the smart splitter is set correctly, and all this seems to be hooked up. Who knows? Who knows? Oh, it's because this... Yeah, because this is meant to be 26.667 per minute, but I just put a full stack in, so it's going to be outputting at 60 a minute temporarily. So that's fine. So then all of this seems to be working. Let's see, all of this seems to be doing stuff as well. And I might want to just throw in another stack of packaged fuel potentially, although I might not. Yeah, it's probably fine as it is. Like there's still reserves in this, right? So it should be fine. Alright, so we have all that up and running. So the fuel output doesn't seem to be 100% yet. Which is a little bit mysterious, because you'd think it would be. So that's the water packaging. This is the fuel, and it's definitely going 100%. Is this just because it's a whole fluid manifold situation? Fluids are a bit weird with that sort of thing. But everything looks functional. And yes, this is now starting to produce regularly. Although it looks like it isn't getting enough fuel to run 100%. Not even close to it, in fact. So where is the fuel going? The fuel is going along here, and up there, and it's splitting there and there. So these are overflowing with fuel. So I guess it's just going to be a fluid manifold thing, and it's going to have to backlog. But until then, we do have sort of decent production. Let's just pretend that you are producing all the plastic in the world. So those get their plastic. That one is just doing its thing. The rubber seems to be working just fine. Alright, so that is all looking good. So now we get over to this part, which, I mean, it's just relatively simple over here. So assuming that the water is enough, which looks more than enough, at least in that particular machine. Although these ones look like they aren't getting enough water. But they are getting enough water. The pipes just haven't filled up quite yet. So that is good. So that all looks normal. Obviously taking a bit to warm up, but normal for that. Then if we climb all the way up here, we should probably see... Let's see, we see plastic, we see circuit boards, we see zero cable. Is that right? Yeah, the cable seems to be bricked. So, cable... What is wrong with the cable? Where even is the cable? Is it just taking a long time to make its way over, or... Oh yeah, I definitely see cable. And it should be... Oh, is it just hard to see because it's black? It's probably just hard to see. Get on the ladder. Oh no, it just has this massive journey to go on. on long, slow belts. So we look over on this side, there is cable starting to move. Alright. So, none of these... What is that? How is there 8 in there, but also none? So yeah, the cable is making its way over. Let's just make sure to actually put the dimensional storage in. So I need a crafting bench. I need to make some... Where are they? SAM fluctuators. And now that we have manufacturers, we can automate fluctuators as well, which is going to be fantastic. So we have 10. Organization, dimensional depot. There you go. And that goes in. Alright. Now the cable is in, and the first of these machines is starting up. And the others will be trickling along as the belts catch up as well. And it looks like We have at least made a start. I mean, it's... At least some proportion of the production is going through. Like, it's not 0%. We haven't forgotten to hook anything up completely. Now it's just a matter of how long it takes for all of these to get warmed up. And then once they do get warmed up, how long it's going to take for me to notice the small problems that probably exist. Gosh, these belts are so... I don't know if satisfying is the right word. It would be more satisfying if they were all distributed more evenly. Like, the plastic and the cables are good. The circuit boards coming in giant clumps of 5 is less satisfying. Especially, like, it's weird that they come in clumps of 5 and get used in batches of 4 just because of the timing. But yeah, this is definitely working. And gosh, it's going to take so long actually for these ones to get their cables. Oh, so there's a weird gap in there. Do all the cable belts have those weird gaps in them every so often? Looks like the first couple don't. Wonder what that's about. Well, probably not a huge problem. I'm sure it'll be fine. And we are making computers. We are indeed making computers. Love to see it. And it should eventually reach almost half of a Mark I belt's worth of computers, which should be quite fun to see. Should be 25 total. Alright. Yeah, it looks like there is an actual problem with cable production. Because some of these are like, they've started up and produced something, but they have then stopped because of cables. Also, if we want the nice, satisfying belts to be belting along, we're gonna have to tear some of the plastic out since it's completely saturated. We'll do that once we just figure out everything is working properly. Alright. For now, we should investigate the cables and see if there's any serious problems going on over here. Alright, cables. You are 93%, 91%, 93%, 91%. So if you do have a shortage, it is because of wire, but it doesn't look like you have a shortage. Is the wire going along nicely? Yes? Question mark? I mean, it's hard to tell, right? Because of the stupid, ridiculous numbers. But it looks like they all have copper in them at all times. And I guess we can try to verify that by heading over to the copper. So this is the copper that is used for that, and it's 100% there, 100% there. So yeah, unless the math is wrong, which I don't think it is, there shouldn't actually be a cable shortage. It should just be weirdness and it taking long to get across all the belts. We definitely have the longest journey by far, especially on Mark I belts. Alright, so that is that. The quartz looks like it's doing just fine. The copper sheets look like they're all going. Alright, I think we may have done it. And I guess, yeah, I guess that would probably be it for the stream. I'm just gonna continue flying around here trying to spot any problems. But everything looks normal. I mean, the plastic situation might be an illusion, right? Like, it might not actually be functional, but it might just look that way. That's showing 96%. That's showing 90%. Okay, we might have fuel. Yeah, we definitely have plastic shortage, which is funny because it's the one that's saturated the most. So what's going wrong with the fuel? 100% there, 100% there, 100% there, and 100% there. So it's not a problem with packaged fuel production, that's for sure. That's 100%, that's 100%, that is 100%, and that is 100%. So it's not a problem with fuel and packaging. And it's not going to be a problem with this, because I would have seen it elsewhere. So the problem with fuel is that despite producing enough fuel, we seem to not be producing enough fuel. Which means, I guess it might be a math problem. So there's 30, 60, 90, 120, 133.333, 163 and a third, 193 and a third, 200 exactly. So yeah, the problem with fuel, we've done the math correctly. It's just probably that some of these are still filling up. But that doesn't look like it's a problem. It looks like all of these are... Okay, this one is at 27, 28%. And looks like it's rising. So if we assume that that is going up, then eventually that'll fill up, and the excess plastic will spill over to this one. And we can help that along by just turning you off for a bit. And so that should mean the fuel can now have time to back up in these pipes. And that was one of the output plastic ones, so it's not gonna break anything in the short term to not have that on, especially since we have a lot of plastic in the queue still. But this doesn't look like it's filling up. It actually looks like it's draining. Like it was up to like 30 just a moment ago. Now it's down to the 20s. Alright, no, now it looks like it's filling up quickly. Really quickly, in fact. So we're going to let this fill all the way up and then turn the other one on. I actually might give it a bit of a pause. Alright, so that gets to be like that. So now the pipes should saturate a little bit. Alright, now we should be clear to turn that on. And the plastic manifolding should have been solved now. Alright, so that is that. And that was like the one major problem that I could see. So if we head back up to the top, it should probably all be just about finished by now. Finished working its way through with all the cables and everything. So we have 100% production on the first one, which is a good sign. This last one still seems delayed though, and the second to last one looks like I may have not attached it in. Yes. Alright, there we go. So these are showing 94%, but they look correct. So I think it's just like whatever was happening that... Oh, this one's not getting any circuit boards. It's getting 0 circuit boards entirely, in fact. Did I just straight up miss a belt? I think I just straight up missed a belt. Yeah, I did. This guy's supposed to have a belt. Well, that's awkward. You go up. Over all of that, this is not ideal. This is not ideal by any definition of the word. But we can fix this. This just goes along. And then goes in there. Alright. And that should be that. And that should get that working. Once the circuit boards make it across, which I actually have some spare in my inventory somehow, so congratulations. I have some circuit boards. And then with that, like everything else is 98%, 98%. Looks like it's all working. And if we go along here, we can see a nice, steady-ish stream of computers. That's pretty cool. And the depot is already filled, and we're starting to fill the box. Alright, so that's that. Thanks everyone for hanging out. Had a good productive stream today. We built some sort of like insanely complicated stuff that I'm surprised I didn't mess up. At least it doesn't seem to have messed up. And now we have a computer factory. So next stream is, I think, going to be the one where we finally put together a giant train system, because we have a lot of resources. We have computers, which means we can do block and path signals, which means that there's nothing stopping us from building a train network to handle all the distribution of items and stuff, and that's going to be very nice to have, but also I need to think of like the exact design of that, because I haven't done that yet. So I'm going to figure that plan out over the weekend, and then on Monday I will be streaming again from 2 to 5 Eastern Time as usual, and I will be probably just placing a lot of rails. The train network I'm envisioning, at least conceptually in my head right now, is going to be very large. So it's probably going to take multiple streams to put together if I end up going with that design, which I probably will go with something similar. So yeah, if you're interested in what gigantic train networks look like, then make sure to stop by for next stream. It's a nice fancy Aurora Borealis in-game. That's fun. So yeah, that's about that. Thanks everyone for watching. Make sure to follow if you haven't already. And I will see you guys then.